I think I'm live. I think I'm ready. Yes? Am I? Checking? Okay. Yes, I am. Hold up a moment. I have to fix my Does that work? Yes. Okay. Everything should be smoothly. Hey guys, it's Queen No Fox here, and this is either this might be part 4 or part 3. Sorry, I'm not completely sure of our life. At the end of the last episode, we had just finished the first game, which is when I was 8 years old, and then school started. Summer had ended, and this is the beginning of the next year. I think I'm 14, and this started. So you haven't missed a lot, other than the recap of what happened the year, which was during school. Okay. Unfortunately, you had to prepare for an intrusion. From beneath the blanket, you heard the door creak. Elizabeth! You look different. Oh, sorry. You're out very different. But okay. You're still sleeping? Wow. Get up. You started to snore, you got up, you pretended to still be asleep, go away. I was always cranky when I was young, so I would say go away. By the impatient tapping of her foot, you could tell she had up now. I will come over. So much for a lazy morning. Your special boy is at the door. Like he always is now. Oh, he brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Golden. Mom wants you to take it from him. Say thank you. You did not like the way she called him your special boy, but you knew by now that saying so would stop her. Come on. So come down already. I'll be right there. Really? That's coming? Okay, fine. Elizabeth said nothing else and left, having done with what was instructed of her. You rolled out of bed, stretching your high and yawning. You sat yourself in front of the mirror in the corner of your room. Your reflection hardly fit your frame. You were tall. You were but over the mirror. You're pretty tall. You're pretty short. You're very short. Look at your reflection to appear in the mirror. You're kidding. No. Actually, I'm average height. I am, a little bit above average. But I wouldn't say I'm tall, so I would say I would frame. Cove is really Dark was kinda short, and you were pretty much the exact height that you would expect for a 13-year-old. You liked your height, you weren't sure how to feel about it. I don't really care. Height doesn't bother me, so I like that. Suited you well in your mind. Then you put the in your outfit while ruminating on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued your curiosity. You planned on going over to see what he was up to today, so this worked in your favor. It was when you spotted your reflection that you realized you were smiling wide. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left your room, taking an easy time down the stairs. Step 2, second chance. Okay. You spotted Mom held a magazine in her hands, which she was pursuing through. What? More Mom. She looked up at your greeting, a smile instantly appearing on her face. Ooh, she got a different style. Good morning, Emily. Thank you for coming down. Ma's at the door with Cove. Stay open, unfortunately. Why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? You nodded and made your way to the front of the house. Said, I was there making conversation. She must have heard you because she looked over your shoulder. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Look who finally made it. More sleepyhead. And you knew she was at the top of the head. She was taller than average, so you were little in her eyes, despite being typical size for your own age. You pushed her back and groaned, no. You pushed her hand back and laughed, no. You touched her face side to dodge, no. I would let her do it. You stood patiently and indulged your ma's wishes. She gave you 2 small taps on the crown of your head. The last one down today, you know that? Life isn't a race. I was going to stay in longer. You're welcome. Sorry about the wait. I was gonna stay in longer, so you're welcome. Yes, thank you. Great things always since this fine day. With a small laugh, Ma stepped aside. Cove is just as you remembered, exactly how you came to know him to be. Oh my gosh. I don't have any issue with this, but he does have a very feminine look at the moment. Like, even with the... I don't know, but that's okay. I would like him either way. He leaned uncomfortably to the side in your doorway as the longer strands of his hair drift with the breeze. His fingers were pinched in embarrassment, shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the much talked about gift. Oh, hell yeah, give me that. I love fruit. At first glance, you flowers. Then you gave it a real look. No, it was carefully. Hell yeah. It made a lot of sense that it was actually Cove's dad. You had to suppress a laugh at this. Imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. What kind of arrangement was built for the presentation? Oh wait, that kind of arrangement was built for the presentation. Likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. It seemed no matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holden would keep going out of his way to be named. Would always be roped into participation. At the sight of you, Cove smiled, but there was some nervousness. Hey, you smiled back. You couldn't help thinking when you first met Cove, how you were such good friends. Lately, though, you were starting to have different feelings. Hey, it's nice to see you. Yeah, you too. His grip on the base of the gift tightened and your heartbeat sped up. Even if neither of you had spoken about it, both of you were always aware of something growing in your relationship. It was already shaping up to be another long summer. The best part, the two of you had plenty of time to spend together and explore what was developing. His awkwardness over the past creeped back in, so he nudged the gift closer for you. He was ready to your hands brought over his just hold of the base. He flinched enough for you to know with certainty that he noticed it. You couldn't help but smile to yourself, and with that, the gift was. Well, that's everything. Though he said that, he made no move to go. You could tell he was reluctant to. Thank you. You are too cute sometimes. Huh. Thank you. Did you tell your dad the gift? Yeah. Mr. Wilson's behavior really was different from any neighbor ever. Though after 5 years, you were used to his antics, and you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. He was funny, he was pretty weird, you didn't like him, he was great. He was great and kind of handsome to boot. No thank you. We're not doing that. He was nice. You knew he wasn't completely perfect, but he always seemed to try hard for the sake of others. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are. You shared a confused look with Cove. As both of you stepped through the open door onto the street. It didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. Spotted Derek. Just a few yards down the road, he ran up to you. You were happy or confused? Please, I'm confused. I don't know who Derek is. I wasn't expected to see Derek today, though you never really here. Derek! No, okay. I don't know, Derek, because you look really... Like, Cove looks older than 13, you look like you're 10. After a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. Then he looked up with a wide grin. I like your eyes, though. Hey. Hey, guy and gal. I was just at your house, Cove. No one was God, you're short. I mean, like, you don't look. You have a weird just look at you. I could have figured you'd be at Ellie's place. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just there? Derek laughed at his own joke. He noticed his cove, or the embarrassment was what he was actually laughing at. Derek turned to you, going to start when his eyes widened and he gasped. What's that? Sure. Then you realized what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Holden's. This? It's kind of like a bouquet of flowers made out of fruit. I would take fruit over a bouquet of flowers any day. Nice. Can I have some? No. I haven't even tried any yet. Derek pouted at your words, not hiding his disappointment. Aw. Maybe not to clear it. I mean, really, I would, but I haven't even gotten happy yet. Rude. Anyway, that's right. Because I needed to say something big. Pause, possibly for effect. There's a in Sunset. I was surprised you were by the news. Such a reaction made no one had since COVE 5 years ago. No way. Were they with their family? They were. Nuh-uh. The new kid was all by himself, just walking. Nope. Came to report the sighting right away. The kid had some green hair, glasses, pretty small, and seemed really upset about something. I leave. You blinked, slowly. You looked over to your longtime neighbor. That sounds a lot like COVE when you first got here anyway. Oh, I guess that was me then. Derek snickered, good-natured. I can see that well now that you said so. But what do you say? Let's find COVE. We should meet. I'll do it. Sure. I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned. Then he pointed down the street the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. Three of you were off. Derek leading the way. Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trio, you made your way down the shore to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in a comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors almost shone like a beacon beneath the rays of the sun. His ground, kicking up sand as he paced. He certainly seemed upset, but you didn't think he was sad like you originally pictured. No, with his erratic movements and scrunched up expression, he came off angry. You started to have this expedition. Maybe it'd be better if you left him alone and let him sort it out himself. You shared a look with COVE. He was reluctant to start the conversation. Derek didn't feel the same. Calling out to the boy. Hey guy, over here! Oh. This kid does not look happy. The kid whipped around, an impressive scowl carving deeper into his face. His eyes were tired, but a strong, hostile energy still radiated. What? What is it? What do you want? The tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. What's your name? No, I'm Derek. That's Ellie and COVE. We're just walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. Aren't a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. Yeah, so you know, it's cool to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If Steve could have ripped from a person's ears, it would have happened then. They did bring me somewhere stupid. Of course, I knew it. What? My parents. They were the one who brought me here. I didn't walk to this town. Can you not figure that out on your own? Right. My dad bring me to Sunset Bird too, when he has to come for work and all that stuff. It's not that bad. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing oh, sorry. My bracelet's messed up, okay. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation probably either. That's an understatement. Not as a vacation. It's a waste of time, a chore. My parents' family is nearby. I'm just happy to see them. Ugh. Your parents' family, does that make them your family too? I guess. That's a pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No! Jeremy crossed his arms with a huff. He turned away. They should have gone by themselves since they cared so much. They left me not allowed and left me alone, but I'm not allowed to be by myself. It makes no sense. They're the ones who don't know how to do anything, and I'm the kid. Kept quiet. You shouldn't talk about your parents like that. Sorry, it might suck. We just said hello. You don't have to be complaining. Calm down. You don't have to yell so much. Who peed in your cereal this morning? Sorry, it might suck to be forced to do something you don't want. It does anything. You turn to Cove. The two of you aren't similar at all. Jeremy must have had good hearing though, because he caught the private exchange and scoffed. Of course we're not similar. My eyebrows aren't stupid. He's flushed crazy insult. You couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger. Maybe. Come on, that was so mean. How did you say that when you got a Oh my god, yes. Bowl cut. You can't say shit about wavy eyebrows with your haircut right now, bro. Yep, it's embarrassing and older. Know what he's gonna do with those things. Maybe shave. He probably should. I bet he'd look less dumb with no eyebrows. You just rolled your eyes, you crossed your arm over your chest, you shook your head, you patted him. Fucking beat his ass, bro. You lunged! Get him! With your fist ball, you clicks forward. He was the one who started things. You were ready to end them. Oh! Okay. In perspective right now, if Cove was my friend Caitlin, I probably would have f***ed this kid to the ground. And me and her are just best friends. Which is the same situation that my character is in with Cove right now. So I would probably be gone. Bye. Done for. Okay, wait. Let me just save. Get him! He made it clear that words wouldn't work, leaving you to resort to action. You weren't sure what would happen, but you couldn't let this stand. Derek and Cove just stop you before you reach it. They each grab you by the arm. Germany. Oh! Jeremy instinctively stumbled back over. If that's all you can do about what I'm saying, it's proving I'm right. You're brainless. You are annoyed the other two were against you on this and got in the way, though the reaction you had been able to get was still worth it. Okay, let me go backwards. We're gonna pretend I didn't make that option. We're just gonna spook him. Wouldn't work. Leave you to resort to action, even if it was just for show. Derek grabbed you to stop you from him, but they each grab your arm. Still, he stumbled backwards. Okay. He continued to defensively. The reaction you got was definitely worth any consequences. What is wrong with you? Instead of taking offense, he only parroted Derek's words in a nasally voice. Wow, what is wrong with you? Wow. You're such a This is dumb. Bye! Bye! Jeremy stuck out his tongue and skulked away, throwing more sand everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over until he became a speck in your vision. Silence reigned in his wake. The three of you tried to I can't believe it. What a mean kid. Wasn't kidding, and by the sound of those earlier complaints, the new boy Jeremy was going to be in the area for a while this summer. Excited in dismay, plopping onto the ground. You followed. Cove did too shortly after. There wasn't much to do. This sucks. I was hoping we could meet someone fun. Hang out with me. Maybe. He shook his head. Turned to you with a hopeful expression. But you know what would really improve my day? Okay, I want to specify this right now. I would have beat up that kid if we were the same age. We're in the same age category. Me, myself, at my age right now, I would never hurt a kid. That's wrong. They would have to be like my age. I'm not gonna fight the kids for a bunch of years younger than me. But you know what would really improve the day? What? He didn't respond. Instead, he just used his hand to point, right at the fruit arrangement you were still holding. You completely forgotten about it during the mini-drama that unfolded. You had gotten used to the wait. Glancing over at Cove, you noticed he was eyeing the fruit. He might want some too. Why not? Why not? Derek perked up immediately at your words. He reached out for a skewer, hesitating slightly once he was inches away. Are you sure? You nodded. With an eager grin, he plucked out a prime roll of fruit. Cove grabbed one for himself after him. Only you are without a skewer of your own. Oh, I want them all. Can I have them all? Where's the I took all option? Oh my god. Out of all these, though, if it was seedless watermelon, yes. But if not, I want pineapple. I really like pineapple. The pineapple was cut to look like a flower. It was the obvious first choice. Derek ate a pineapple skewer enthusiastically, finishing it within moments. This is amazing. Cove continued munching on his, making a small noise with his mouth full. Hey, you two. Remember the land before time? That fruit makes me think of it. The dinosaurs all liked the leaves that were shaped like stars. Tree stars! Yes! Yeah, chopping leaves looked so delicious when they did it. And there was that scene with the pretty trees and all the dinosaurs came in and picked everything off them until there was nothing. That's us right now. Awesome. I like that movie. Eating leaves looks good. I have seen that movie. I like it. Me too! The three of you continued like this for the next few minutes. Eventually, the display was barren. It looked weird, devoid of fruit. It did help me feel better. Derek was right. It was so good. You were already brightening up from the earlier drama. Hey, Ellie. Yeah? The two of you met eyes casually. Were you seriously gonna hit that guy? No, I just knew he'd get all scared over it. Phew, that was pretty bad, Ellie. I thought it was cool. What? You're both crazy people. You knew when Derek said things like that, it wasn't serious. He liked you and Cove. Yeah. Derek then leaned back on his arms. He contemplated the sky with a content sigh. So, are you both ready for summer break? I like summer. Yeah. Cool on you. Wish I could stay the same. It feels like there's a lot to plan for. What about you, Cove? Are you ready? Yes. Before he could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered. Elizabeth. Hey, Ellie. You glanced over your shoulder to see your sister. Okay, Elizabeth. I'm sorry, but those shorts, in my opinion, does not match that shirt. She strode closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking all over for you. Ma said you and Cove ran off with the thing Mr. Holden brought for us. Oh! She leered over you with arms folded. So, where is it? Well, it's gone. What do you mean, gone? You moved over to the side to face her completely. She zeroed in on the bouquet in your hands, which was now populated exclusively with skewers, dripping in juice and tiny flecks of leftover fruit pieces. Her mouth dropped open and her voice rose. What? Seriously, Ellie? What were you thinking? It was supposed to be for all of us at home. She glanced at Cove, who sat behind you, and continued mockingly. Even if you were the most important person in the household to deliver to the delivery boy, that was up to his dad. It seemed everyone was in the mood to tease you and Cove today. Elizabeth, stop being a bitch. Within moments, Cove's cheek flushed red. He picked at the hem of his shirt, suddenly finding very interesting. He always became nervous when Elizabeth would strike at your relationship. Sorry, the morning's been kind of a disaster. Were you hungry? It wasn't us. A seagull came down and ate it. Sorry. Elizabeth narrowed her eyes, not at all placated. Oh no. I think I hear the mean kid coming back. We better get out of here. Elizabeth blinked, confused, and looked around. What kid? I don't see anybody. Derek didn't bother explaining, just launched to his feet and ran off. Cove hopped up too, gladly taking the opportunity to exit the situation. He followed after Derek, but sent a look to you from over his shoulder. You turned to watch Elizabeth. She stared back, eyes raised. I ran! Without a word, you two got to your feet and bolted down the beach. Unimpressed, Elizabeth rolled her eyes. They're so mature. I'm quieter than usual? Oh, you are here! It's weird to have someone else here. I've been here by myself the whole time today. Is that better? Actually, let me lower that down just a little bit. I don't want it to be too loud. You missed it. There was this little kid bullying Cove, and I scared him by getting ready to punch him. I would never do that in real life. Well, if they were my age, I fight for friends. I'll say that. I fight for my loved ones. But still. Oh my god. It is so loud though. Like it goes into the yellow when I slightly raise my voice. Are you sure it's not your phone? Or maybe it's because I have the music. I don't really need the music up. I can turn that down actually. Okay, well, considering I'm playing Amnesia after this, I don't think being too loud is the right option here. So, can you hear music now? But am I louder or lower than the music? Oh my god. How about that? Everyone's gonna die when I play Amnesia. Okay. They're so immature. She shook her head as she walked towards the house, not bothering whatsoever to follow. Meanwhile, the three of you made it back to the shoreline. Derek pumped his fist, grinning in triumph. We escaped and shall live to see another day. Exactly, but we should keep moving for now. Yeah, for now at least. Victory. Moms are gonna be so mad. Oh well. You traveled together, walking further down the beach side by side. You definitely wanted to stay outside a little while longer. You had gotten a bit of a scolding from your moms for not saving any of Mr. Holden's gift for Elizabeth, but you didn't get any real punishment for it. Instead, while you were out with the boys, Elizabeth returned home to share the news. The three of them went to get dessert on their own. It was declared even by your parents when everyone got back and the event was settled. That was a while ago now. Later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Oh, nice old phone. Your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You were waiting on call tonight, specifically from your cousin, Leandra. You didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Families only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. A while back, though, they moved and were closer to you than before. Lance does send a lot of videos. But he has to send them all twice now because I'm not in the server. With school being out, you're positive she's gonna want to come over a lot. The two of you were the same age. God, were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Elizabeth too. But now that your sister has become allergic to interfacing with her own family, it tended to just be you and Lee who spent time together. She was your only friend who was a girl. Being family help made you close, but you had a lot. She was my only friend who was a girl. You weren't all that close with any other girls your age. We had plenty of other friends. They just all happened to not be girls. Then a shrill ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped before grabbing the receiver and pursing it to your ear. No Fox residents, Ellie speaking. You were greeted by a distorted, high-pitched giggle. Aw, she's adorable. Why do you sound so weird? Mom answers the phone like that sometimes. It's supposed to be polite. You should go with hi. That was something a robot would say. There was static on the end, as if Lee were shifting wherever she was. So, can you believe school's actually over? I never thought it'd be done. Now we don't have to do any of that boring stuff and we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hanging out, Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head to my room.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You got up from your seat at the counter. Luckily the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any cords tying you down. Your mom's had a rule about not moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which is why you'd been sat by his cradle waiting for Lee to call. Your mom's be unfair. It makes sense. It was nice to keep everything in its proper place. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your bedroom to talk to her. You made your way up the stairs, smiling. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door behind you. You took a seat on your bed. Alright, I'm here. You know this little thing right here? This weird desk thing actually looks like what I'm using right now. Kind of, actually. Like my two little windows, one of them with Pokemon cards, and then I have the middle two shelves. I don't have this bottom piece down here. They're just 3 drawers. But I have this whole, like, setup kind of like this. Alright, I'm here.
Cool.
Cool. Hey, did you know that the girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. She doesn't have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Wow, really? The thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. Right. I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. I wish they'd changed their mind. We could call each other every single day, and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? Really great. We could even stay up late, talking about whatever we want. I've done that before with people. Lee sighed thoughtfully into the receiver. At least they said I could have it someday. I can't wait. She sighed dramatically. I bet I'm not going to get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and ear, you puffed up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. I know a lot of people who haven't. I think the only person that I've had, a few people that I've had really, really, like, good fun with that late at night, being on the phone. I don't know. I wouldn't say so. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over and you'd have to choose whether or not to go to college. School is such a big part of your life now. Study didn't come easily to you. You worked as hard as most people and pretty average results. You never tried much. You didn't bother. Every class came easily. You worked as hard as most people and got pretty average results. That's kind of how it is for me. You guys, that was reasonable enough. Got a lot of pressure to get higher grades. We did that like 2 years ago. And that was watching TV. That wasn't really talking. You've had a lot of pressure to get higher grades. You hope to do just as well this year, but it wouldn't be a big deal if they dropped your confidence. I feel a lot of pressure to get higher grades. Your future depended on it. Yeah. You tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you too well to be fooled. You sound spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it because it's summer? That's what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to going back. Let's make a petition. Every time it was summer, I would always look forward to going back to school. I was just weird like that. I don't remember that. You're speaking English, but I don't understand those words. Oh, you're speaking English, but I don't understand those words. You laughed, aware that many kids wouldn't voice your enjoyment of school. Though I guess school isn't all the way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. Learning new things would be cool. Gym sucks. That's a lie. Gym is trash. Gym is awful. No offense to people who like gym. I hated it. It's not the easiest way to hang out. It's the easiest way to hang out with people. Cafeteria lunch is disgusting. I like to hang out with neighborhood people. If I didn't go to school, I'd never meet anyone new. No one really comes here. Uh-huh. But that was off. And that's pretty much everything that's good about school. Okay, point taken. Now I decree the topic of school is officially closed. We have to talk about this summer first before we start plotting the rest of our lives. I've got some plans already. Ooh, tell me. I'm gonna visit my cousins. You chuckled, of course. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. Spend time with people, no art supplies. The only thing I read is fan fiction. Movies and TV I do. No beach. No beach. See, if it said reading fan fiction, I would have clicked on that in a heartbeat, but it just says reading. I don't like reading normal books. I do like movies and TV, but I also like spending time with people. Movies and TV. Well, when it says reading, I don't think it... Technically, I disagree with that. It should be more specific. Ooh. Ow, my ring. I think I put my bracelet on backwards. I bought a yin yang bracelet today. I have the black piece. Because like I said in one of my other videos from yesterday, I went to the flea market today. I want to spend time with people. People? I hope that means me too, of course. You lean back in your bed, settling in. You continue chatting with your friend, even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her and you'd be seeing her soon. You found plenty to talk about. For one, the events of the day. You sat up straighter. I was with COVE and Derek today, and we met a new kid. Like, I could. Technically, I could disagree with anything. Even if it's true. I mean, who's to stop me from saying I disagree? So, in all technicality, I can disagree. Even if it's a fact. It may not be logical to disagree, but I can disagree. Like, at your neighborhood? His parents are visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like? Mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude to everybody. But especially COVE. It was awful. I don't want to meet him. You want a boy to stay away before even meeting him? That's an unexpected twist. It doesn't have to make sense. A lot of things people do doesn't make sense, but they do it anyway. And I know I'm right. About the fact that I can disagree with things. My cousin was pretty popular with the boys who knew her. She seemed happy enough to have them around until they started to annoy her. Hey, who are you to talk? You give practically all your attention to boys, or maybe just one boy. I see how much you like COVE. You got me, yeah, that's a special case. I don't give him all my attention. I don't give him all my attention. Lee laughed at your denial, deeply amused. Even though she couldn't see, you shook your head at her, grinning to yourself. There was a stomping noise approaching your room, shouting the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open, a frown etched on her face. How long are you gonna hog the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized that your quick call had gone up for much longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held out her hand. The other one lodged on her hip. She noticed the realization on your face. Time's up. Lucy, you said yeah, I'd probably do that. Lee, I have to go now. Bye. Okay, see you soon. Tell Elizabeth Mom I said hi too. You barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked a handset from your fingers and began dialing someone new as she strode out of the room. Your mom's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it! With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. That was one way to end your first day of break. Sometime later, it had gotten dark outside, and you laid in bed wide awake. Your window rattled all of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at your brows. From your vantage point, you only saw the moon and an open sky. You were scared, confused. What had caused that noise? Frowning, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You might as well find the reason behind the disturbance. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by a pair of familiar ocean blue eyes. Cove! You squinted. Yep, Cove was right outside your window. Your house was very angular, and some stuck out further than others, so it theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around. You're joking. Still, just because someone could, didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. Cove looked awkward and unstable. His feet were braced against the section of the wall that jutted out, his arms flexing with the effort to keep him upright. Oh my god. With difficulty, he waved. Then he wobbled, immediately dropping his hand in alarm. You hurriedly opened the window, Cove scrambling inside, nearly falling flat on his face. But he was able to right himself in the end. Oh, you know how dangerous that was? But imagine a guy climbing up your house to get into your window. Such a movie moment. Movie moment! I cannot speak. He released a breath once he was steady. Hi, Ellie. What are you doing? What's up, Romeo? This sure is a surprise, but you're always welcome here. Is everything okay? Amazing. My dreams have come true. That's a surprise, but you're always welcome here. Thanks. I wanted to see you. I figured this was the only way. Well, you could've... I don't know. Considering that even if I knew it was you, I'd call the cops on you? Maybe. If I ring the doorbell, I know your moms would have answered, and they just go home. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I didn't want to talk about it. Well, besides with you, I mean. That's why I did that. As unexpected as this was, you were touched. Cove felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I might have tried calling or something, except my dad was on the phone. Cove suddenly looked very cross. Dad. He was talking to my mom. Still is, probably. You raised your eyebrows. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' conversation? I would have probably done that too. Cove shrugged nonchalantly. Yeah, you should talk somewhere privately if you want to stay private. True! Are you going to stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks. When it happened, sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summer. Even though it was hard news when you found out he was leaving and you missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. That's what I thought too, but no, that's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom to have me leave this year. He said she can come stay with us here. You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cove. There was a complicated mix of expressions on his face. What did your mom say? She told us she'd come. I know she's coming soon, before school starts. Oh. You had heard Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about past memories or it happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon you were going to see Cove's mom in person. You were taken aback by the news, so you could only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your room, his features painted with dread. Before they barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch. Now we're going to be all together again? The three of us? After all this time? Just for a few weeks. I know I should probably be happy. They can talk to each other now. Still not. I'm just confused and freaked out. And now I feel really bad for feeling this way. Whoa. Still so weird to hear you say that. Ellie, it's so... His fist tightened and his eyes became misty. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already. I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. There's nothing wrong with feeling bad. We can deal with this. I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with feeling upset. Emotions are valid in any situation. There's nothing wrong with feeling bad. Cove sniffled. You were afraid he might really start crying, but he didn't. Instead, he smiled. See, now I feel kind of better. Visiting wasn't a bad idea. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. Of course, I wasn't gonna look at him and be just well, I don't care. Get over it. Bye. You marveled at how the day started. I mean, it's a tough situation. Of course I'm gonna be sympathetic. You marveled at how the day started. You had woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seemed so crazy. The mini debacle at Mr. Holden's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood being so rude, and as if all was enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove's dad again? Your whole life was kind of like that, it seemed. Complicated and hard and different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? Ellie? The sound of your name, said quietly, pulled you from your thoughts. Cove gazed at you, concerned.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Who, me? No, I'd be worried about him. I mean, it's his, like, big issue. Of course I'd be more... In this situation, I would be more worried about him than myself. I'm supporting him. Who, me? I'm worried about you. You don't have to forget about yourself for me. I want to listen to you, too. Aw, that's cute. Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine. Moonlight from outside cast shadows across his face and lit up his eyes. They seemed to sparkle with his smile. Just that one look brightened your mood somewhat. You know, I don't think I want to talk about any more about this. He looked away, his lips thinning into a line, and rubbed it at his arms. But I kind of don't want to go back home either. Could I stay a little longer, just doing something else? He appeared even more hopeful and vulnerable. How could you turn him away? Exactly. Of course, you can always stay here. I got a flashlight and some cards. Nah, he can make a habit of jumping through my window any day. Of course, you can always stay here. You held his gaze confidently, hoping your words got across to him. Cove perked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. You felt a little better at the sight somehow. Oh, sight, somehow. What? You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. I said I wouldn't tell him to just get over it, is what I said. And not just tonight. You were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you never wanted to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. That initial friendship had deepened so much over these past years, and you were certain there was room to get him closer. Wow, that's a little close. You joined Cove on your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again, but you could tell this time was half-hearted. He was still... I want to talk about his mom and dad. He must be thinking about what happened, or what's about to happen. You smiled, hand on his shoulder, patted his back, took his hand in yours. I would hug him. You moved closer and wrapped your arms around him. It wasn't much, but you hoped contact helped, even a little. Cove rose up, startled. After a moment, his arms came up, and he returned your hug. The two of you remained like that for some time. He might have mumbled something to you, but it was too quiet to tell what it was. Realistically, I would always hold my arms out before just giving someone a random hug, in case they don't want to be hugged. But, you know, LEMC, you do you. When you pulled back, his expression had softened to something more natural. Conversation was stilted and broken often by silence at first, then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought that you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that the two of you would have to part ways, and you knew Cove felt the same. You opened your tired eyes, growing as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your olive skin. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple of times, clearing the sleep from your eyes before realizing with a start that it was actually morning. You couldn't remember even falling asleep. Cove had crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent time together, trying not to wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wonder how late Cove had stayed before heading home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of bed and get ready for the day or stay snuggled up in bed a while longer. Your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable mop of pale green hair, and you bolted upright and gasped. He never left! He was still there! In the morning! Oh god! Cove? He had fallen asleep while sitting on the precariously leaning his head on the side of your mattress. With your shout, Cove eyes snapped open and his eyes slipped from its source of support. He didn't stop going down until he smacked right into the floor with a crack. Ouch. I mean, is it really creepy? I mean, technically I told him he could stay over. And that he could stay whenever he wanted. I'd call it creepy. It'd be creepy if he was some random guy or if I told him to leave. Well, you could think it's creepy, but I don't know if I do. I'm indifferent about it. Because technically I told him. I said he could stay whenever he needed to. You clamped your hand over him and looked down at him with wide eyes, curled up where he had rather ungracefully. Ow. Laughed quietly. Are you okay? You winced at his tumble, hoping no one else in the house had heard either of your outbursts. Yeah, I'm alright. Cove rubbed at his forehead a little, and you weren't sure this was entirely true. If either of your moms had found out Cove had slept here last night, the two of you would be in big trouble. Cove looked at you a couple of times, his eyes growing in panic as some of the thought that only he could hear settled in his mind. Oh my god, I fell asleep. You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cove pace your room, looking around frantically. Cove stopped mid-step, and you wanted to ask what he had been searching for, but you guessed he wouldn't know the answer to that himself. Despite that, he hadn't calmed down completely. The atmosphere was still frazzled. It's going to be alright. It's going to be alright. You just need to leave before anyone notices you're here. If they knew, we would have heard about it already. Cove nodded, his shoulder tensed as he fixed you with a firm stare. Okay, with his turquoise eyes. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran his hand through his hair in exasperation. He couldn't look at you again as he spoke. I'll see you later. You were confused by how all this had played out, but hoped that was true. Right. Bye, Cove. At that, you were suddenly wrapped in a tense embrace. As panicked as he was, that seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Aw. Thanks, again. You're a good friend, Ellie. A really good friend. He firmly whispered the words into the top of your shoulder. It made you feel tingly. Aw. But you were let go before you had a chance to respond, or even fully react. In a matter of seconds, he had climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cove's hair and filling your room with its salty scent. Cove anxiously stepped out onto the ledge. Wished him luck. You rallied him to keep going. You wished him luck. Good luck. Be super careful. You weren't sure if he heard you or not, but he kept going along, one foot in front of the other with increasing speed until his form disappeared out of sight. You stuck your head out the window as far as it could go to try keeping watch. He walked the full length of the ledge before jumping down to the top of the garage, then lowering himself onto the fence. He finally dropped him to the ground. You threw out a thumbs up at his successful climb. He ran off towards his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. Gives Stranger Thing vibes? You had to admit that you were pretty impressed at how doable he made that look. Cove always seemed to have a way of seeming so smooth without even meaning to. With a little sigh, you reclosed your window. Deciding there was nothing more you could do, you hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. Put on your slippers, looked in the mirror, made your bed. I mean, technically, when I get up in the morning, I use the bathroom and then I look at myself in the mirror, so yeah. You certainly look like you had just woken up. Oh no. Well, now I'm gonna have to throw this away. I'll be honest, I was squishing a cheese packet because it was very satisfying and it just broke open. I will be right back. Go, baby. Yes, you are. Here, get on the bed. There you go. Okay. I have returned. I brought a brisk too. I love brisk. And I brought my cat. He's now laying on the bed. Okay. Taking a comb from your bedside, you attempted to fix and smooth down some of the messy strands. You took the stairs, slowly, attempting to mask your face into a look of innocence. You were sure that someone could have come into your room if they had heard anything strange, but you couldn't be too careful. You had to play it cool. You stepped into the living room. Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning, Elizabeth. She looked over you immediately, her eyes squinting at the greeting. Why are you being so weird? You hadn't even done anything. Your big sister never missed a beat, unfortunately. You turned and offered her a tight smile, and her lips pursed together even tighter. Ellie? You shrugged it off. I wouldn't tell her. I'm not. You spoke so nonchalantly, you almost thought she believed you. But you knew her better. Further suspicion squinting occurred as she waited for something. But ultimately she rolled her eyes, and you weren't sure if you were in trouble or not. She didn't seem to care enough to dig any further. Whatever. And then she walked straight out of the front door, letting it slam shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh. Elizabeth went out most days to hang out with her friends from school around town. Today, you were extra glad for it, though you were also grateful she hadn't left the house any sooner and risked running into Cove. It looked like you were getting away with that. Breakfast was eaten in peace and alone. Your moms were both out by the time you had gotten up. They had left you a serving of food from the breakfast they made. Hash browns, an omelet, fruit salad, and there were a few... Hell yeah, give me that! Yes! Wait, hold up, what was it? An omelet? I would not eat the omelet, so I would say I passed on some parts. Because they weren't things I liked. I'm not a vegan, so... You appreciated that there was a variety in the meals your mom made. The parts you did have were very tasty. The day lazily drifted by at home, and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosty air for a moment or two before grabbing a bottle of ice-cold water, water, and taking a long drink. It was a perfect, balmy summer afternoon, and you had decided to head outdoors and find something to do. You hadn't decided what something was just yet, but you were sure something would pop up to occur your time. As you were heading out the front door, you paused for a moment. You hadn't seen Cove since he had left it that morning, and you couldn't help but think about what had happened to him. Would it be bad to go over his house right now, or to call to check on him? You stepped out of your house, still stuck in an internal debate with yourself, when a voice caught your attention. Hi, Ellie! Confused, you look over to where an unrecognized woman was waving at you, a friendly smile plastered on her face. You racked your memory from where you might have seen her before, but nothing came to mind. At your school, or from the country clubs your mom took you to, you had absolutely no idea who the woman was. The woman crossed the road towards you, and you were a little unsure whether you should stay put or go back in the house and lock the door. You look fabulous. Wow. Wow. Like, are you single? Not for MC, Ellie, she's 13, but for me. Oops, I'm sorry. Was that presumptuous? I've heard about you, but you have no idea who I am, do you? I could never rock that style. Oh my gosh! Yes! Technically, I am of age. Do not say my age. I'm just saying, don't say my age, but technically I am of age. But look at her! Can I like get rid of this menu box? Like, show me. I love the style. You shook her head and she removed her sunglasses to reveal sparkly ocean blue eyes. All of a sudden, she seemed a little more familiar. My son lives here, and my ex too, so, you're not married? Asking for a friend. With a bent smile, she lifted a hand to point to the condo across the street from your own house. This was Cove's mom! You didn't know why you hadn't realized sooner, now that you had gotten a good look at her. She was super pretty! This beautiful lady was Cove's mother? Wow. Wait. That's my thoughts on her. Not 13-year-old me's thoughts on her. Let me go back. She seemed nice. Her attitude was friendly, and it seemed like she was genuinely happy to meet you. No matter your thoughts on her, you still felt taken aback that she had appeared here so suddenly. Cove mentioned she was coming, but you hadn't gotten the impression it would have been the very next day. She extended a hand again, this time for you to take, and you studied the manicured fingers in front of your face and the assortment of bracelets that dangled from her wrist. I'm Kyra Priest. You can call me Kyra. Yes, Kyra! Yes, I'm shaking. Oh my gosh, I love the style so much. I am shaking your hand. Oh, wait. Wait. Pause. Even though I like her because she's attractive, Cove does not. And I want to be supportive to Cove, so I'm going to be a little more indifferent, thinking about this from my character's ways. You reached out and took her hand, and she shook yours firmly, grinning wide. I'm Ellie, but you already know that. That I do. Cove's mentioned you to me before. It's nice to officially meet you, Ellie. Cove talked to you about his mom. He hadn't mentioned how he had said things about you to her. What has Cove said to me? Nice to meet you too. What has he said about me? Oh, I can't tell you that. I've already said too much. She laughed good-naturedly. You couldn't be happy about that answer, though. Oh, hi, Cove. I have a feeling this is about to go really bad. The sound of a door opening and closing caught both of your attentions, and when you turned towards the sound of it, it was to find Cove exiting his house, eyes skimming the ground. Considering just how tall he had grown, you kind of figured his mom also would have been tall, but she was much more on the short side, for an adult anyway. Cove's height must have come from his father. There you are! I thought you were going to keep me standing out here all day. You tried to catch Cove's eye as he walked toward you, but his gaze was firmly fixed on the sidewalk. When he finally crossed the road and looked up, he gave you a pitiful look. After the way he had acted last night, you knew he must be feeling pretty mixed up about this. You tried to wordlessly express that you understood. Cove and I are heading into town to grab something to eat while the snore is at work. Kyra beamed at Cove and ruffled his hair, which only seemed to upset him more. You assumed the snore she was talking about was Mr. Holden. Hey, you should come with us, Ellie. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, you should come. Cove, if you want me to come, I'm gonna go. Of course, we'll run it by your parents first, responsibility and all that. It'll give me an excuse to meet them, which I need to do at some point. It's important to be neighborly if I'm going to be roosting on the street for the time being. Any woozies, let's go. Kyra walked ahead towards your house, and you hung back with Cove, who crinkled his nose as he watched her. I'm sorry about her, but I really do want you to come. I don't want it to be just the two of us, not right now. Of course I'll go. You leaned in close and whispered while checking around for anyone who might hear. What happened? Did your dad know you were gone? Cove shook his head and sighed heavily. Dad was so focused on Mom showing up that he didn't even notice. Yikes. I thought when I heard them on the phone last night that it was something they were planning for the future. This morning Dad said it was supposed to be a surprise, and I guess I was surprised. She's gonna be here all summer. Oh. You were surprised to hear that too. Cove sighed again, even heavier. I'll go with you if you really want me to. He smiled, his shoulders relaxing a little in relief. Thanks, that'd be cool. You stop. The two of you headed over to where Cove's mom had just knocked on your front door and stood behind her. Mom answered the door after a minute, her eyebrows lifting in surprise at the group she found in front of her. You realized that, like you, she would have no idea that it was Cove's mom who was hanging with you. However, after blinking at the woman a couple of times and looking between her and Cove, the realization seemed to strike on her. Hello there, I'm Pamela. I see you've met my kid, Ellie, and I'm guessing you've already known Cove for a while. Kyra laughed, and you and Cove exchanged looked at your parents' weird sense of humor. I'm Kyra Priest, Cove's mom. It's so nice to meet you. It is very nice to meet you too, Kyra. I don't know what your Kyra experiences are, but even Kyra in real life, I had a friend named Kyra. She was nice. She was also really smart. She did not look like this, though. A head of purple-brown hair caught your eye as Ma popped up behind Mom, squeezing herself in beside her. We have company. I was wondering what all the commotion was. She grinned excitedly at Kyra. The two of them introduced themselves and shook hands. Hi, Ellie. Cove. Cove smiled at Ma shyly, and she gestured a hand towards the living room. There's no use hanging around in the doorway. Why don't you come in? I'd love to, but I promised to take my son out to eat. Well, you're gonna have to live with it. And I wouldn't want to hold you up with a surprise visit. Cove grimaced and held back a groan. He lightly took offense in how she didn't want to put them out with a surprise visit, but not him apparently. Aw, I understand. You're welcome to stop by any time.
Of course.
I'll take you up on that offer when I can. Count on it. Would you mind too much if Ellie went with Cove and I? My treat. We won't be driving. Just a quick walk down the road. Sure, that sounds nice. I hope y'all have fun. You gave your moms a look, and they smiled at you fondly. You were happy they were letting you go. I'd probably be more upset if they didn't let me go. You could tell that Cove really needed support, and you were ready to be there for him. Marvelous. Expect us to be back in an hour or two. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Your parents waved goodbye to the three of you as you backed up onto the street. There was a sound of the front door closing behind you. And on that note, I will be ending this video here for today. I think this is part 4. Considering how long this game is, there's probably going to be many parts. But this is where we're ending today. And it's a good cliffhanger because next time we'll be, you know, hanging out with Cove's mom. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and follow my Twitch channel. I go live pretty much every day, anytime that I can. And I would really appreciate it. Let me save. I'll save on 15. Am I sure? Yes. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And yeah, hope y'all have a nice time.